Sup, everybody? Today, all things maintenance. Lizi hambi. But anyway, I'm gonna divulge into it as requested by one of the gentlemen. It's a very broad topic. Now, they didn't really specify as to which direction they would have had me maybe address, because there's different things. You have maintenance in respect of the parent demanding maintenance from their child. You also have an aspect where the other parent is demanding maintenance or other child support for the care of the child from the other parent. And then you also have maintenance from the spouse. So, which way, sir? Be that as it may, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to address all three of them in this particular video. I'm not going to beat by the bushes. I'm going to address everything as it is. I aim to please. Thank me later. It's fine. But anyway, that's besides the point. Now, maintenance is literally financial aiding, or rather, yeah, financial aiding for one's living expenses. Basically, you pay money to take care of my life expenses. That's what it literally means. This is me breaking it down into like a layperson's jargon so that everybody can understand this, right? Now, maintenance in respect of the child, we're speaking of the child support. We don't usually call it maintenance, but it's the child support. And the law that usually governs all of this, you have the Divorce Act, you have the Maintenance Act, you also have the Child Act, right? Now, in respect of taking care of the child, remember there's three legs that we're going to touch into: the child, spouse, parent, right? I'm gonna divulge into everything individually. So, starting with the child, this is what happens. Say, for instance, now the other party is not literally taking care of the child. They did not acknowledge that child. They don't care. They don't even care if the child is eaten or they have bread or anything like that. It's okay. It's okay, right? But now remember, according to the law, the responsibility of the child is from both parents. There's no law that says, well, even if maybe you told her to abort, but then the child is here, you can't take care of the child. If you're the father and it has been proven, you have the responsibility of taking care of that child, right? And there is the difference. I need to address this one before I can even proceed with anything. There's a difference between child support and access to the child. They're different. They are totally different. If even if that person is not maintaining that child financially, that does not mean that they do not have the right to access the child. I repeat myself. So this thing of maybe women withholding access to the child, the access to the child simply because of the partner is not financially supporting that person, that's nonsense. And there are various ways into tackling that, which is also legal way, right? You can approach the court to actually have them give you visitation rights and so forth and so forth, because of everything relating to the child has to be in the best interest of the child, right? Now, going back to maintenance, this person is not funding this child, this person is not helping you. What do? You go to the maintenance court, right? And that's why we have a court specifically for this, so that it does address matters of this nature and then it doesn't clog up all these other courts. You have a court specifically for it, so you know your matter is going to be dealt with thoroughly, right? Now, before maintenance or other child support is granted in your favor, as the person claiming it, as the person who perhaps has the custody and is the one taking care of the child full time, you are able to approach the court and say, hey, this person is not helping me in respect of this child. Can you have him assist me with it? This is what I'm doing, right? And any person who's claiming it, make sure that your trail record is on 100%. When I say your trail record, I'm actually referring to, you have receipts, monthly receipts showing your groceries, showing the amount of money that you spent, showing your rentals, showing where you stay, how much you spent on the child, the school fees, the uniform, the caring of the child when the child is sick, medical aid, all those things. Make sure you pile them up so that when you make a claim and say, hey, this is how much I'm parting ways with this child, so that the court can also take into consideration and say, damn, okay, this person is popping out quite a lot, and then they are able to give you sufficient money to also assist you with the child, right? And remember, this is not even about your money or you being paid. Everything is all about the child, right? And if you're able to successfully prove that what you do, then the court is also going to look at the other party's financial aspect, right? For instance, the court will take into consideration, is that person working? Are they able to have an income, right? And in their income, do they also have, what are their responsibilities? You'd find that he's paying rent, he's probably earning 10,000 rand hypothetically, and then within that 10,000 rand he is paying 4,000 rand towards his rent, he's paying 2,000 rand towards his car, he's paying his other children as well, and he's left with this. The court will take that into consideration. So do not think of child support as a money making scheme to get a lot of money from that person. But then again, I can understand like raising a child takes quite a lot, not even half of what maybe can be granted in your favor doesn't even cover half of the things that you do for the child, right? So such things, in order to motivate it, you can even ask for a raise and say, okay, cool, after some time can we maybe have a review at this, and maybe you're not satisfied with the amount that was granted in your favor, right? Maybe the court was like, okay, cool, based on everything that we have, you're going to be paying 200 rand, you're going to be paying 500 rand. And then the other thing that must not be mistaken is that the court is not going to now not award more money simply because of they need to protect your lavish lifestyle. No, the court is always going to look at the interest of the child. The responsibility of the child is from both parents, and it cannot overlap more to one parent over the other. It is equally both their responsibility, 50-50 type of thing, right? And then now, if it happens, right, and the other thing that needs to be taken into consideration is that you can actually avoid being dragged into the maintenance court or anything like that, right? And you're also wondering when exactly does maintenance end, like when am I going to be done? And you're probably thinking, when this child is 18 I'll be done with it. No sir, no ma'am, right? Now maintenance actually, we call it, one is no longer responsible once the child becomes self-sufficient. So it's not necessarily like 18 but self-sufficient, because if I could be 18 and still go to varsity, I still need taking care of, right? For instance, you have maybe a special child with special needs or disability of some sort. That one doesn't terminate. You need to take care of that child until, right? That is your responsibility forever. So that's when we then consider at which stage, or when do you feel like, when am I going to stop paying this thing? It's a long procedure that we take into consideration. But like I said, self-sufficient mentally, or illnesses or disability with the child, there it doesn't stop, right? And then now what happens, or rather how can you then save yourself from being dragged to like a maintenance court? Do your part. Trust me, do your part. If both parents are equally contributing to the child, yes, one can have more custody or full custody of the child, but you're there, you're buying bread, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing that. Trust me, trust me, you won't even have to go to the maintenance court. But should you be dragged and while still doing that, please always cover your tracks. I know of one gentleman, I call him the very wise guy. He actually bought a receipt book, literally. That guy, if he goes and checks his child and maybe he leaves money for bread, like 50 rand, he will sign it on that receipt and write it down, count everything. He piled up everything. When the girl was there at the maintenance court, he said, this is what I do for this child, I visited, I do this, I bought the electricity, showing paper trail. And then the court was like, okay, what are you demanding here? Because this person is already doing all those things for you. So you need to be smart. You need to make sure that you cover your tracks. You need to make sure that as you are, like, it's not even about just being smart, or rather outsmarting the other party. It's always about the care of the child. But I know other people can be very foul. Other people can be very malicious and always wanting to suck you dry to make sure that they punish you for having the child with them. No, no. A child is not something that you're going to use to punish the other party. So I'm just looking at it from like a legal point of view. That is my point. That is what you need to do, exactly that. Even if they don't, or rather should they fail to pay maintenance, even if the court has already granted it in your favor, what do? Watch the next video. I know, Wafetu, but the time, it's fine. Time, time.